Welcome to the Human Kindness at Work podcast, where you'll hear inspiring stories of people just like you making a difference in their corner of the world. You'll hear how human kindness is at work and how you can be a part of it. I'm Jennifer Clark. Ready to be inspired? Here we go. Where do you want to be when the world feels heavy? When you're exhausted? When you want to feel safe? When you need to feel like yourself again? Home. Home is a physical and emotional refuge, a place to come back to after a long day, a gift of stability. Home is a place where our stories begin. My guest today understands the value of a home in a way that goes far beyond square footage or market value. He knows that a home provides hope and stability, and he's making a difference in his world by helping families in the Dallas-Fort Worth area experience that firsthand. Gage Yager is a husband, a father, an outdoorsman, an avid reader, and in his own words, just an ordinary guy who's been extremely lucky. He's also the CEO and executive director of Trinity Habitat for Humanity in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In the last 30 years, Trinity Habitat has helped over 800 families buy homes in their community. It's ranked in the top 10 out of more than 1,200 Habitat affiliates in the nation in new home production. Trinity Habitat doesn't just build homes. They build strong families and strong neighborhoods by partnering with people in their community to help them build or improve a place they can call home. Gage, welcome to the Human Kindness at Work podcast. So glad you're here.
Thank you, Jennifer, and thanks for the warm words and kind introduction and give us an opportunity to tell our story.
Happy to do that. So you've been the CEO and executive director of Trinity Habitat since 2004.
That's right.
But before that, you were a commercial real estate broker.
Right.
So what inspired that change in career?
Sure. Well, my dad started a company in the 50s, and I never really knew what I wanted to do in life, so I just went through school, got out of college, went to work for Dad in the small commercial real estate business, and became a real estate broker. But I don't know, I love the entrepreneurial and sort of visionary part of the real estate development business. I'm not a natural salesperson, so I don't think it was a great fit. I didn't ever like being the guy in between the buyer and the seller. But again, I like the creative part of real estate and development and building and the tangible nature of it. But it just never felt like a great fit. And so I was just, I don't know, an epiphany or, from the Christian perspective, a road to Damascus type moment where I was just sitting in my office wondering what in the world I would do if I didn't do real estate. And I didn't like the thought of going to work for a huge company. I like small and entrepreneurial. And so anyway, just the flash that had never occurred to me came into my mind and thought, hey, I go to work for a nonprofit. I don't need to make a bunch of money. I respect what they do. I've always been born lucky with my family and the resources that we've had. So sort of a born on third base kind of guy, which makes it pretty easy to score. But not everybody's that blessed. And so anyway, I had a book in my desk from United Way, and I paged through it to see who they had funded. It was their annual report. And then I saw Habitat, and I was like, well, there you go. I know a bit about construction, and they have a real estate need component, which is a bit unusual from, the day-to-day work for most of the other nonprofits. And, called them up, asked who was in charge, sent them a letter and said whatever I said, ending with, God knit me to do something else in my life than just work for my own benefit. And long story short, the person running the Restore, which is a new and used building materials fundraising effort, and it diverts tons of materials from landfills. People give cabinets or whatever to the store. We turn around and sell it to families, use the money we make to help build more homes. Went to work for them in 96, managing the Restore, and then just progressed from there.
Can you give us just a brief intro into Trinity Habitat? What's your mission and how does it work?
Sure. Well, you did a good job And we do. Trinity Habitat builds strong families and neighborhoods, but we do that by providing a hand up to home ownership, which then produces hope. And it's the home ownership piece that's important, right? I mean, people talk about housing, but housing really encompasses rental. Mm-hmm. And there's a vast difference in how you execute the mission and the tangible results that come with home ownership as opposed to rental. And so it's not a giveaway program, right? That's why we say it's a hand up, not a handout.
Love that.
So it's that hand up to home ownership. And then it's those tangible results that start happening because of their hard work, to become a homeowner and, that buy that piece of the American dream and what it does for them and their family, and they build wealth and it has positive benefits throughout the neighborhood. There's an impact beyond the house and beyond the family, where it does things for the school district and they pay taxes and improves the neighborhood. Like crime goes down and property values go up when you have more home ownership versus rental. So all sorts of really cool, tangible things start happening. Kids do better in school, more likely to go to college, higher adult earnings, less likely on welfare, girls less likely to be pregnant as a teenager, all if you grew up in a home owned by your parents.
Wow.
Parents more likely to join the local PTA because they're not moving school districts. Now they can invest in their kids' school, and more likely to join a local church because they're not going to move someplace else chasing a rent special. So all those things are the fabric. And then, of course, you do what? You get to know your neighbors. And there's some community right there in your block. The house is right in and around you, and you get to know their kids, and their kids are in your house, and your kids are in their house, and you're not bouncing and moving. So all those really come together in this interesting and strong weave of community that has these great tangible results for the family that are sustainable and resilient long term.
Trinity Habitat for Humanity isn't just building homes. They take a holistic approach to empowering homeownership through building, lending, home repairs, and teaching financial literacy. They offer stability that will make a difference for generations to come.
It's a simple concept. Let's get together and sort of the old-fashioned barn raising, right? To come together and build a home with a family. And then that with is important, right? It's not for the family. We build with the family. And that's that hand up, not a handout model that we run. It's partnership oriented. But it's super complex when you try to put it all out because the business model is exceedingly difficult. And so we're buying really expensive land and we're building really expensive homes. And they're not expensive relative to all the other homes, but you build any home and it's expensive. Building materials are super expensive. And so it's trying to take that, and we focus primarily on people that earn 80% median income and under, and home ownership. And so those mean you have to get creative in the business model to make it work. So we have the restore that I mentioned that takes in new and used building materials. We turn around and sell it to the general public. That generates revenue. Like in our budget, that's about $1.5 million, $1.6 million net revenue to the bottom line. And as you mentioned, we finance our homes. And so we have bank partnerships that come in and partner with us in a loan participation that gives way below market interest rates for people to purchase the homes. And then we develop land. We don't buy infill lots anymore because they've gotten too expensive. So now we're in the raw land development business. And we're a mortgage originator and a mortgage servicer and a Christian mission and a nonprofit organization. And we build homes with volunteers. Not all the homes are built with volunteers, but about a third of them are. And so all those things add their own different layers of complexity. We get some government money, not a ton of it, but some. And that, government money tends to be big, but also is fraught with compliance and some onerous regs to try to keep up with and cross your T's and dot your I's and all the things you got to do to do that well. So it all comes together where it's that simple concept. Hardworking families, essential workforce. Those families don't really have a place to save and build wealth. There's no real 401k program that's going to make a tangible difference to them. But if you're that, single mom making $50,000 a year, when you have three choices: overpay, overcrowd, or live in dilapidated conditions. And none of those are good choices, right?
Right.
But if we can partner and people, donate their time, treasure, and talent to sort of close that gap, we can get it this close, and then people donate through the Restore and through their own benevolence and financial resources, and that closes the gap, and then that gets that person, that hardworking family, into home, which is, you mentioned it earlier, right? It's stability.
Yeah.
It's that everything comes together now for the first time. They don't have to chase rent specials. Tons of our families, and I love this, after they get in their home, they come walking in our door at some point and they have a degree. It's a 2-year associate's degree, or it's a 4-year degree, and we have a handful of master degrees. And without us prompting or asking, they say, I couldn't have done this if it hadn't been for my home. So it's that stability. What does that hardworking family do when they get stability?
Yeah.
And that's part of the magic, right? Now they're set. They check that thing in their life list. Then they go on to the next thing, which is what we all do. We check that thing and go on to the next thing. And it creates stability and, success and self-reliance going forward. So it's difficult and it's expensive, but the results are profound.
I love that. Your model is centered on building with people, not for them.
Yeah, that's right.
Why is that distinction so important?
Yeah, giveaway doesn't work as an agent of change. It just doesn't. Lottery winners go bankrupt at a horrific clip.
Yeah.
They scratch and win or whatever, and God bless them, but they don't have any idea how to manage the wealth that all of a sudden landed in their lap. Most people that obtained real wealth have built a business, and they did it for decades. And so it took their, good old fashioned sweat of the brow and elbow grease, as it were, to get that. And you tend to take care of it when it was really hard to do. And so giveaway, we need to give away when it makes sense, right? The little old lady living in the house whose arthritis is so bad they can't open the can of food. Okay, that's a different scenario, and we need to do that, and we can do that, and there's other organizations that do a great job at that. But if there's opportunity, it's the old story. Instead of buying somebody fish for the rest of their life, you buy them a fishing pole, teach them how to fish, and they can feed themselves. It's that a little bit of gas in the engine to prime the pump, and then once the engine starts running, you get to walk away from it, and it's off and running on its own. Well, that's essentially what we do with the house, and that house is that buying them the fishing pole. And we didn't have to teach them how to fish, but they needed that stability from which to do everything else that we all do in life.
Yeah. And you're teaching financial literacy as well along the way, right?
We do. We try not to make assumptions on what families know and don't know when they come in the door, and we want them to be successful because, hey, they're signing a mortgage. They need to pay the mortgage for the next 30 years, which is not an easy thing to do. So you need to be gainfully employed and pay your taxes and have auto insurance and all the things and have a job. And then, so we have, we call it Habitat U. And so it's 20 hours, and I think 17 or 16 of the 20 hours are nothing but financial literacy. And so some of our bank partners teach it. We teach it internally. Most of that's online. We also have a home maintenance class that's in person here in our teaching house that was built for that purpose. So it's getting everybody up to speed that we know we've done a good job. And then, it's cool. Sometimes they call us up 5 or 6 years after they're in their house, and they couldn't maybe remember all the formulas and ratios, but they're like, my car just died. I need to buy a new car. Here's my current income. What do you think I can afford on a payment? I'm like, well, yay, God.
Yeah.
They listened. They took it seriously. They value the house greatly. And so they called up to ask a question. Okay, well, look, and then, tell them, look like you can afford $400 a month or $500 a month or whatever the answer is. So that's a victory moment for us when they listen. And we've only foreclosed on 2.5% of the homes we built. So
wow.
The model works, and it's just, that's since 1989, since we started. So it's sustainable and resilient.
Impressive.
So it's thank the Lord it works.
When you listen to Gage talk about his work with Trinity Habitat, it's obvious that this isn't just a job to him. His work centers on real people with names and stories. And Trinity Habitat for Humanity is making a real difference in their world.
Sometimes life takes a turn, right, that we didn't see coming, and we've been doing things right. And so Donise is a lady, there's a family, married the love of her life. He ended up having mental issues and he was refusing to medicate himself accordingly. And then, a lot of times that turns into sort of self-medication in the form of drugs and alcohol. And they're living in a mobile home. And at some point, he's on a rage and comes after she and her kids with a knife. And her family didn't have any resources. She had a car. And so she flees. She takes that leap into the void because she has to, fearing for her and her children's life. Into their car, and they lived homeless for a little while in their car, but she got it back together, which is not easy to do when you don't have family and resources, right? I mean, if she didn't have mom and dad's house to go back to and say, I'm in trouble, which she didn't, then where do you go? And so anyway, she figured it out, and she came back to us, and she got married and helped us build a home with her up in Northside, and moved in with her kids. And then that's that, she's in control. And she did it. And we like to say strength, stability, and self-reliance. Well, our families actually come to us, they're already strong. Our program's not necessarily easy to get into because it's not easy to buy the house and maintain the house and pay the mortgage for 30 years.
Sure.
And so what she needed, what we've said already several times, she needed stability. And so you match that strength with the stability, and you get that success and self-reliance. And that's what Donise did. And I mean, Alex, great story from the Congo, went to Cornell, I think, or Columbia, graduates, finance degree, Citibank, goes back to the Congo. The government gets overthrown. He was working for the government at the time in the finance world. Government gets overthrown, and then he gets thrown in jail, develops high blood pressure, untreated, goes blind because of the unpaid, detached his retina, moves back to the United States after he gets out of jail and comes here and buys a Habitat home for him. So there's a guy that got into a school that I couldn't even touch, doing the right thing. And just life just took a turn on him. And sometimes it happens, there go I, but for the grace of God type of thought. I've worked hard and you work hard, but sometimes despite our very best efforts and our intelligence, things just go off the rails, and you can't tell. There's another lady that was a classic pianist or a classic musician and was in a small plane crash and was a quadriplegic, partnered with her in Weatherford. So a lot of stories like that. And it's humbling and grateful to work someplace and see them come along and, that hand up. I had tons of hands up. It came from my parents. And so not everybody has that. The spiritual founder of Habitat said, Habitat's the inheritance for the uninherited. Right? And so I had that wherewithal, but Donise didn't. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't I didn't do anything to be born to parents with wherewithal. It just happens. Just an inexplicable roulette wheel of life that we all land in, and we're here in the United States, which is fantastic. I do global village mission trips in Kenya and Dominican Republic and see third world poverty. It's like, good Lord, wow, what would I have been like had I been born in some remote village in Kenya? So it's a humbling thought, and we work hard and we earn what we get most of the time, but some of us start in a different place.
Some of us start in a different place. Gage's perspective is so gracious, so humble. He recognizes that he was born into privilege, third base, as he calls it. But rather than finishing his lap around the bases only focused on scoring his own run, Gage and his team are looking around at those starting in a different place in life and asking, What can we do to help them score? So, home is often tied to stability, safety, identity. What have you seen happen in a family's life once they have that foundation?
You see it a lot in the kids, and the kids go off to college, and when they're in the home, they've been in the home, maybe they were 10 years old. So Jamie at Hare Griffin, my daughter, was in probably middle school through high school with her son Dion. So Jamie at she's been in her Habitat house a long time, 25 years. Single mom, 2 boys. Drove a bus. She drives a bus for the Fort Worth Independent School District. Her son goes to Arlington Heights again. He was in the same grade as my oldest daughter. So we got to know them. And he's the kind of kid you want your daughter to bring home. He's a great, great guy. He was starting quarterback for Heights, took him to the playoffs, gets a football scholarship, goes to North Texas, plays football, graduates with a degree, turns around, and now he works for a Christian ministry on the UNT campus, talking about his faith in the Lord and engaging with them. So there's a great story, right? And there's a kid has the stability of the home and a hardworking mom and gets his high school degree and gets his college degree and turns around to help serve and give back. So it's those stories that you hold on to. And it's those college degrees that those families come in with afterwards, right? Those are home runs. That's people living life and taking those steps forward, which ultimately builds our country.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we want. That's what we want, people to succeed and participate in the American dream. That I don't know about you, but I've benefited from it more than I deserve. And so we want that for more and more people.
Yeah. It's that ripple effect, right? Of kindness leading to success, to everybody's success in the community, in the nation.
It is exactly that. Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, we take it to the world. We go on global village mission trips and spread that love with people we've never met before in continents that maybe have a completely different religion. I was in Nepal last year, helped building a home for a family there. It's just, it's very rewarding.
Are you ready to swing a hammer yet? Stable housing is something we all need in life. Trinity Habitat believes that all of us can contribute to building strong families and neighborhoods with our time, talent, and treasure. So, how do we make a difference?
Eyes open to see what you see. And if you look, you can see struggle. And so with the eyes open, have an open heart and an open mind. Park judgment someplace else. Because I don't know about you, but it's super easy. My brain jumps to judgment real quickly, right? Sure. And it's really foolish when I know zero of the story of anybody, really. And so eyes open, heart open, non-judgmental. And I try to live gratefully and not judge, well, they did something stupid and they sort of deserve whatever struggle they're in, versus, oh, good Lord, thank you. That's not me, because I've made plenty of stupid decisions, right? Yet, for whatever inexplicable reason, it hadn't affected me negatively, maybe the way it is them. So hearts and minds open, and then find a way to jump in, help. It's hands and feet. We're the ones to put it in action when love the Lord, love your neighbor. How do we love the Lord? We do it by loving our neighbor. That's how we do it. That's evidence of it. And so different people have different talents of what they can do, whether it's accounting or legal or medical or construction or land development or real estate, or just swinging a hammer. Everybody has a way to contribute. Everybody can help.
Well, speaking of contribution, if listeners want to get involved with Trinity Habitat there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area or in their local Habitat for Humanity, how do we do that?
Yeah. And yes, you're right. In their local habitat, whether it's us or one of the others, there's, I think, 55 or 60 Habitat affiliates just here in Texas. And so there is likely one near you. Go to the website, look it up. Make sure it's not habitat.org. That's Habitat International. If you do, you need to mine down to find a local affiliate. And once you find that local affiliate, there is a way to get involved with us. Volunteer, the classic, how do I help Habitat? Go out on a Friday or Saturday, swing a hammer and help build a home is the classic Habitat experience. But I mentioned Global Village mission trips. We have a trip going to Kenya and a trip going to North Macedonia in August and September. Sign up. Go on one of those. You want to move your heart? You want to go to someplace and cry? That'll do it. Become a table captain. Go on the website. Look for ways to get involved. Be a table captain at our fundraiser, Cornerstone. Those are our guys and gals that lead our construction sites. They're retired or almost retired. Typically, white collar, retired mid-management and upper management type of people from banking or Alcon or Lockheed that come and work with us, and they lead the construction sites. And some of them are 75 and 80 years old and been doing it for 20 years. And it's their get out of the house. It's their community. It's their give back. It's their thing to do and feel productive in life. So there's a lot of different ways to get involved. If you're remodeling your home, don't throw the cabinets away. Don't throw the toilet away. If it's good and usable, call us. We'll come get it. We'll give you a donation receipt. You write off your taxes. We take it to the restore. We put a price on it. Somebody buys it. They save money. It didn't go to the landfill. You got a tax write-off. Everybody wins. So there's lots of ways to get plugged in and help, push the ball up the hill.
The more I listen to Gage, the more I'm convinced that Trinity Habitat has it right. Providing stability through homeownership creates a domino effect, not only within one family and the generations that follow, but in the neighborhood and wider community too. It's one way to bring lasting change in your world. If you're interested in joining Trinity Habitat's efforts in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or you'd like to learn more about your local Habitat for Humanity, check out the links in the show notes. This episode is sponsored by my voiceover business, Jennifer's Voice. When you work with me on your next media project, you don't just get a great voice, you get a great partner, fully invested in the success of your project. I'm here to help you win, so head to jennifersvoice.com to hear samples of my work and to get in touch. This week, how can you give the gift of stability? How can you help others score in life? What kind of hand-up can you offer? I bet if you look around, you'll find that your gifts and talents can make a real difference in someone else's world. See you next time.